Coach, how is not having Andy Fantus on the field going to impact your offense?
Hopefully it won't impact us at all. Injuries are part of it. We don't make excuses for them, and we expect the next guy that's on the field, as well as all the other players that are playing, to give us the production we need to win.
Does it force Henry to spread it around a little bit more?
No, Henry executes our offense. It's our job as coaches to put players in a position to be successful, and for Henry to stick with his roles and his progressions.
I imagine you probably picked Eric Tillman's brain a little bit, getting ready for this one, given he was with the Edmonton team last.
And talked to him at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's he been just as a...
Well, I've talked to him about our football team, but I haven't talked to him at all about it.
Oh, okay.
I've got coaches for that.
For sure. How's he been in his role just as a consultant?
He's been great. Yeah, he's been great. I have a long relationship with him, and he's very bright. He understands and knows the league, and he's done a great job for us.
Coach, you have a lot of new guys on defense. I know some of those changes are because of injury, but is some of that because you're trying to find the right mix still?
It's a combination. Yeah, it's a combination. You have an idea coming out of camp. A new staff with new players, a lot of new faces. You have an idea, but you don't really know until you get to game time, right? As it relates to roster moves that are non-injury related. The ones that are injury related, you just go to your depth chart, right? Some of that's influenced too by where the injury is, and how much depth we have in that position might affect another position as well. So it's kind of a moving the chess pieces around to try to make sure that we field a team with enough quality depth on the front end and the back end as it relates to our DIs to be able to compete for the entire game. I mean, last week, for example, I mentioned if we didn't choose Eric Harris, as one of our DIs last week, we'd have been in real trouble, in last week's game on the back end.
There's quite a number of players on your roster who just have ties, recent ones to Edmonton. Is that just a coincidence that they were there before this?
There were players that were available. I mean, we evaluated all the free agents. If there were a free agent, we evaluated all the players across the league when we came here as a staff. And it's worked out in a couple of cases where we had things that a couple of players that they needed, and where they felt like they improved their football team, and we felt the same way. So, but we've tried to do some moves for several months with just about every team in the league. So it just worked out in a couple of cases. It worked out with that.
I imagine some of those guys aren't going to need any extra motivation this week.
Yeah, I mean, how a player gets motivated is up to the player. We just expect him to get motivated. Yeah.
How much has your team anticipated the opportunity of going to Guelph and playing in a new temporary home and maybe reaching going to them instead of maybe them coming here? You go to them in their backyard.
I'm sorry. Can you state that again?
Sorry. How are you anticipating? How do you think your team is anticipating this opportunity to go to Guelph and play in a temporary home? And
well, it's another game to play, right? It's another opportunity for us to compete in this league and to start and continue to improve as a football team to get us in a position where we can hopefully reach a level where we can compete for a championship. And it doesn't really matter where we play. We want Guelph to be our home, and we want that environment to be our environment, right? And we're treating it that way, and we approach it that way. But at the end of the day, it's just another stadium to play in with another opponent. We approach the game the same way.
Playing there in the preseason game, did that kind of help take any?
Well, it helped us in the sense that we became familiar with the process, right? The environment, the process of walking down to the field, getting off at halftime. Mm-hmm. All of those things, how the locker room would be managed, the flow of traffic in the locker room, all those things matter, right? Players kind of want their space and be able to get prepared the way they want to get prepared. And I think that the design of the locker room and the space that we received is more than adequate. And so there's at least a comfort level in all the pregame stuff that you have to go through, and then managing getting to and from the field for pregame warm-ups and getting back to halftime. So that was important that way.
Did you make any changes from in terms of your preparation and going to Guelph and how you're going to approach all that? I mean, week one you did in the preseason, had a good result, obviously. Did you find out anything that you're going to tweak and say this has to change?
Yeah, but not going there. But getting there, we tweaked a couple things. Just the timing of getting down to the field, how that looks, especially as it relates to the timing of the other team getting to the field.
Okay.
We probably needed to speed that up in the preseason. We got there a little late in the preseason, so, but we've addressed all that. It's just, again, those are more just logistical issues in managing getting to and from the field.
Any lingering memories in the locker room, just, getting leapfrogged by Edmonton in the crossover in last year's play?
I'm sorry?
Any lingering memories in your locker room from, Edmonton's a team that leapfrogged Hamilton?
We talking about last year?
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, we talked about last year. Last year's not relevant to anything that we're doing this year. We don't refer to it. We don't talk about it. Has nothing to do with our preparation this year and moving forward as a football team.
Are you happy to finally see Flessus in the lineup?
I'm sorry?
Are you happy to see Flessus in the lineup finally after he missed like a training camp and now you got another chance to see him?
Yeah, I'm glad he's here. Yeah, glad he's here.
Norwood, what's Norwood showing you this week in practice on the end there?
He's strong. He has quickness. He has natural pass rushing abilities. He's a little heavier than I coached against at Ole Miss when he was at South Carolina. He bulked up a little bit for the NFL. We'll see. I think he's in okay shape. We'll see what kind of shape he's in. To play at the pace of the CFL game. So we'll have to monitor that throughout the game. But we think he has a potential of being an impact player.
Is Boudreaux nicked up? He practiced a little bit this week, but
well, we have the whole team's nicked up like every other team in the CFL right now.
How pleased are you with Winston Lamar and what he was able to do last week?
Yeah, Lindsey brings a smile on my face because he's such a great story and a great kid, and I just hope he can continue to give us the same production because we need it right now. Yeah,
It's quite the debut.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was. We did a great job on the first kickoff. It was set up very well. We blocked very well for him. And the thing about Lindsey is that he'll hit it. He won't hesitate. He'll get upfield. And if he breaks the first line of defense, it can get scary. Not for us.
Kent, with all the changes this week, I'm looking at Gant and Norwood. They haven't really had a lot of time with you. Gant in particular playing that spot.
Mm-hmm.
How much can you expect of a guy just getting into the system?
We will expect what we've given him. So it's our job to manage what we give him. Right? It's our job to manage as coaches. It's like anything else. You have to put your players in a position to be successful. That's why we have coach on our title, right? And if we've given him too much, then we need to pull back. We'll see that at game time. I don't think we have. It's always a guess, and you don't know how somebody will respond. It's live and it matters, and it's a real game. But I think we've managed it pretty well this week to put him in a position to do what we think he knows and that he's comfortable with assignment-wise, where he can play fast. But we'll see.
What do you expect from Charbonneau Campo we're going to get this first start to try to fill the...
Expect him to play like everybody else at a high level and to produce.
is his skill set similar to Andy's? Like what he brings to the table? Is he different in any way than what Andy does?
Well, he has similar size. He's a physical receiver, which we like. He doesn't have Andy's understanding of the game yet, but not many do. Andy, as a time and space receiver, Andy's one of the best I've been around, as we've stated before. So he, his understanding of the game, understanding of defenses, understanding of coverages needs to improve, but it will. And typically, players don't get better until they play, right? They have to play in real games to get better. And but he cares. He cares a lot. He prepares really well. He plays hard. He gives great effort, and he produces on teams as well, which is also a plus for us to have a receiver that produces on teams.